Okay, this is it. It's on. It's all started. It's different already. Come on. There's a lot of tree just there around the corner. And this is a wood chipper making all the noise. Tech. Hi folks, it's the 11th of February 2021 and it's early morning. I think it's about 6:45. This is just a quick look of those papaya I've got growing in the straw bales just between the car and the fence. Just give you a quick look how they're growing. I'll show you more in another video, but just to give you some idea exactly where we're standing right now. This is my garden here at the front, and I want to show you something that's about to change. So yeah, this is what I've been usually showing you, but things are going to change here at the back. Well, to the side of the house. It's not really the back of the house, although some of it will be the back of the house. But yeah, I mentioned this to you before a few months ago, that I might be clearing this edge, and it's going to happen. There's going to be a big team of tree cutters coming in here and trimming all these trees on this fence. So I'll just give you a look at how it looks now, and I'm quite excited about it because I'm going to have some space for more trees and plants. But this big umbrella tree here, it's going to go right up against the fence. With this umbrella tree here, it's sort of growing into the fence and breaking the fence. Same with that umbrella tree, and that one. There's a happy plant in there too. I'm hoping they'll let us keep the happy plant, save that. But there's 3 trees there that'll be coming out. I would like to get these trees too, actually. There's an ice cream bean tree there. It's starting to get big, and another macaranga. That's a rainforest pioneer. It's kind of a weedy tree actually that just blows in. It's amazing, like we're in the thick of the suburbs, but these trees will just grow wild, you know. And it's proof we'd only have to leave the suburbs alone for 10 or 20 years and they'd just be covered. It'd go back to rainforest. Well, that's the leaf there, the macaranga. It's a fast growing shade tree that'll just spring up wild anywhere if you don't mow and just leave things as it is. Just let nature do its thing. They shoot up really quick, create shade, and then the more delicate rainforest trees will grow underneath in the shade. But yeah, this will be coming out that. So it's going to give me room for more fruit trees and papayas. And all this edge has got to be cleared. See here there used to be an asbestos fence there. It was just so old. And yeah, made of asbestos. And the neighbours have been doing renovations, and they rightfully want to fix that fence. So they've been very helpful to us. They've removed the asbestos, which isn't easy anymore. It's got to be specially looked after, got to be wrapped in plastic, and because it's very bad for lungs. Could be contributing to my lung problems too. This house is mostly asbestos. I've been here 20 years. But I've breathed a bit of asbestos more than 40 years ago. When I was a teenager working on job sites. They say it takes a long time before it gives you problems, so. But yeah, this tree's coming out as well very soon. That's another macaranga. That's and there's some trees right on the fence line that have got to go out, or they just can't build their fence. So, you know, they're not really all that important trees. They're weedy trees. Be a lot better to replace them with fruit trees. So yeah, that'll be going out. These will be going out. And I'll show you right along the edge, like it's still got the backyard, still goes a fair way down there. There's a whole heap of trees that they're becoming a contentious issue for neighbours. We trimmed them all back about 7 years ago, but now they're growing into the neighbours' yards again, and it really annoys the neighbours. And by law they can keep trimming them back and charging us anyway, which will cost us a fortune. So they've got to come out. They're the wrong trees for where they are, the spot. They just keep spreading out and becoming a problem for the neighbours. So yeah, timber fence will be going in here very soon. These trees will all be coming out. Yes, there's some sunlight after about 15 years. There's going to be some sunlight getting in here on this edge. But see how wild it is. It's just jungle, hey. It's virtually, well it is, it's virtually inaccessible jungle. But yeah, these trees are coming out. There's, I wonder how far that goes. It's hard to say actually, I'm not good at distances. I guess maybe it's 25 metres. Keeps going back another 25 metres. This tree is coming out. This is an ice cream bean tree actually. This was a very useful fruit tree for the first 10 years or so, but now it's just massive. It's got too big. Anyway, I'll just get my breath for a moment. Oh, quite a few mozzies here too, swarming me. But yeah, this ice cream bean, it's become like a pest now. It's got such a big root system. It's, you know, I trimmed it often when I was healthier, had better health, but now it's just got too much for me. and it wants to grow 3 stories high. It's pretty much 3 stories high at the moment actually, and it wants to spread out the size of, you know, the average house, and it just keeps sending out horizontal branches, or virtually horizontal, that go right over into the neighbour's yard, and they don't want that, you know, and you can understand that. You see, look, it just grows over, it's grown over about a quarter of the house. It's just huge. And if I got fruit off it, it mightn't be so bad, but, you know, and I got some really great harvests off it in its first 10, 15 years. Well, 10 years at least, but this last 10 years, the flying foxes have got onto it, and they pretty much get every single fruit anyway. You know, so I'm not getting any food off it. It's just a great big thing taking up a lot of space and becoming a problem for neighbours. Yeah, so it's going too. So it'll be nice to have this gone. And see, look how much mulch is here. Like that's a banana lounge chair down there. Like not a fold-up one, a solid fiberglass lounge. You know, and you can hardly see it. That's the back of it. So, you know, there's about, you know, there's at least 2 feet, even like nearly 3 feet of mulch here. Mulch and logs. And so yeah, they're going to cut this down as well. There's going to be a lot of timber coming out of that. You know, it's just, it's 20 years old, this ice cream bean tree now. And, you know, it's a pity it wasn't growing on a farm somewhere. It'd be worth keeping. But it's just in the wrong place. And it's just too big for the spot it's growing in. So it'd be nice to get this out. And then there's even more trees at the back there. They're all pretty much, most of the other trees are macarangas again. That weedy kind of tree I was telling you about, rainforest pioneer. Oh yeah, look, here's there's a pod from the ice cream bean, look, just cleaned out by flying foxes. Most likely, perhaps rats too. But yeah, you basically never get a fruit off it anymore. So, yeah. So it's gonna go. Oh yeah, and right here, this is something, this was a Christmas tree I planted many years ago. It's still surviving. Maybe it won't survive this onslaught coming up. I'll see if I can point out to him to leave it. But it's a bunya nut tree. You know, and again, I know now it's in the wrong spot. But it's just never got enough sunlight and water to grow big. It's quite old. If I cleared all this stuff, it could take off, and that'd be a problem, because it's too close to the house too. It's a bunya nut pine. You know, those things, they get really big and grow really big cones of nuts, and the nuts drop down and they're like bombs. You know, if you got the wrong things underneath the trees, these big cones of nuts just smash things to pieces. I think ideally I'd like to move that, repot it, perhaps sell it, or plant it further up the back of the yard. You know, they're really nice nuts. It's a really sought after nut. But again, it's such a big tree, it's going to get so big if it gets enough light and water. And it's in the wrong spot here. Might be hard for the tree cutters to avoid that. At least 10 guys are going to be in here. It won't be easy for them to keep going around it, because they want to get into it and just do the job and get all this timber out. Oh, there's a little, see, there's another little pod that just completely eaten out. Little ice cream bean pod. So yeah, I can climb through there, but it's a major effort for me. So I hope you can see it's just sort of jungle, and you can't, maybe can you can see the back fence through there perhaps, but they'll be clearing out, yeah, this whole edge a few meters from the fence line. They'll be clearing it right back to the backyard almost, and that'll give me room to plant more suitable trees. So that's good news for me. I've got more space, and I'll kind of be winning the war against this overgrown jungle and keep neighbours happy and council happy. The council's been on our back a few times too about just how overgrown this yard's become. So yeah, along this edge I'd ideally want to plant my soursops along this edge. Yeah, this is the southern side of the yard. The north is out that way. So when a lot of this is chopped down, there'll be a lot of light. It'll be a perfect spot really, just up against the fence and facing north. Hopefully it'll get a lot of summer and winter sun. Although there's another even really big tree up the back. You can't quite see that, but it's a poinciana, and it's massive. It's a beautiful tree, but it's just so big now, and it's close to being a problem. And I'll show you later. The trunk of the tree is huge, and the tree cutters will charge more than $2,000 just to remove that one tree. So for now at least we just can't afford it to take that tree out, and it is taking up a fair bit of space. So you know, it's going to shade everything out before long as well. But for now we're just going to take out every other tree, actually, except for this huge tree at the back, the poinciana at the back. But everything else along this edge is coming out either today or tomorrow. And so I'll keep you updated. I'll show you a bit of when they're chopping it down, and they want to glyphosate these trees. Actually, they want to chop them back down to the ground and then paint them with glyphosate to stop them from regrowing. And I'm really against that stuff. It's really toxic. And I don't want my babies having two heads and 3 eyes and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to use kerosene instead of the glyphosate. So that's going to be my job. I'll just get my breath back. So yeah, and the fact is this is a trick I learned, is the kerosene works perfectly if you want to kill trees off. You don't need to use glyphosate. That stuff's just too damn dangerous. And the trick is when the cut's fresh, as soon as they cut it, I'm going to have to try to be around here and fit enough to keep moving and stay out of everybody's way. And as soon as they've got the fresh cut, I pour the kerosene on it, and that'll work just as good as the glyphosate. It'll stop the tree from growing back. I bought a heap of kerosene at Bunnings yesterday. I've got a fair few litres. Hopefully I've got plenty. Yeah, so I'll show you a little bit of them cutting. They probably don't want to be on too much video. We'll see. I'll see if I can get them on a bit of video and give them a plug, because they're a good tree trimming company actually that have been in this area in Redcliffe for a very long time, actually, more than 20 years. They're called High Tech. I'll just say their name for now anyway, at least High Tech Was it High Tech Tree Services? Something like that. The company's changed hands now, but yeah, they've done our work for us before. They chopped a few trees for us before, over the last 20 years, and they're very good. They're very professional. They do a very good job, but they're getting expensive these days. They're a lot more expensive than they were 20 years ago. So yeah, this whole edge is going to cost our family, what is it? About $3,200. Whew, hey, to clear all these trees. And they'll mulch, they'll take this timber out and chip it, put it in a wood chipper, and clean it up fairly well. But there'll still be more work for me to do. Yeah, and if we got it all, if we got the points out at the back, another $2,500. So that's more than $5,000 to clear the whole edge, and we just can't afford that much at the moment. We're still going to have to pay for half of this fence, this timber fence, so that's going to run into a bit. And also we've got to chip in for the removal of the asbestos, so which isn't cheap. So yeah, it all adds up. Hey, nothing's cheap these days. So yeah, you can't see a real lot of it, can you? It's just so thick. This jungle. Jungle. But it's going to look so different in the next couple of days. It's going to look really different. Even I'm going to struggle to imagine how it's going to look. But hopefully it's all going to be very good. It's going to give me a lot more room to work. A lot more I'm going to be able to do here now. Big extension to my garden. And I've got about 8 soursops that are more than 2 years old. So I can get them in the ground. They're a tree that won't ever grow too big. Won't be a problem. And I'll have room for more papayas and vegetables and all sorts of things. Hopefully. See, that's quite wide, that umbrella tree, hey? It's got a lot of age about it. That's been trimmed back a lot of times too. The last time it was trimmed was 7 years ago. But yeah, you know, it's better for it to go. It's time for it to go, and I'll plant better species. Actually, in the front here, I'm sort of thinking, unless I change plans, but in the front here I'd like to plant one of my pomelos, because I've got a number of pomelo seedlings. They're still a bit small, but because this can be a cold area. You can get a lot of westerly winds, cold westerly winds in winter. So I thought the pomelo's got a bit more cold tolerance. Might be fairly well suited here. And somewhere where the ice cream bean is, I'm thinking about planting my custard apple in the pot there. I've shown you quite a few times. That'd be a good spot for that custard apple. And again, it won't be as much of a problem as this ice cream bean. Yeah, and then more the soursops. I am tossing up. I wouldn't mind planting a soursop right there too, actually. If I can get that ice cream bean out. That other macaranga. So yeah, there's a lot of work to be done. Also the front yard, actually. From the road, it's this this sort of tree. I don't even know what it is actually, but it's quite a beautiful tree. It's sort of got many branches now, many main stems. It's been trimmed back so many times, but it's not all that fast growing. I'd like to keep it and hedge it, but at the moment it's just growing too much out onto the front road, and the council will get onto us. But yeah, they're going to come and hedge that for us. And it's not all that fast a grower, and it's got beautiful flowers. It's got these small flowers with really nice perfume. So, you know, we'll take a chance. It will be nice to keep this. You know, it does cost a bit every time we've got to trim it back, but you know, if we give it a good trim, might be 5 or more years before it'll be a problem again. And it just makes a nice hedge that kind of blocks all the smog and coming in from the road, and blocks the westerly sun. It used to get really hot here at the front here before that big fence went in, because there's so much bitumen over there, and the cars, and the sun just blasts in. So yeah, all these trees really lower the temperature in here. So it'd be nice to keep a bit of it. So yeah, this is the before shot, and very soon I'll give you an after shot. It's going to just look so different. I'll give you a look outside here. What else is going to be done. Yeah, hopefully all this is going to get trimmed back too. See if I can get them to trim this back. We've already worked out a quote, but you know, as you can imagine, I'm hoping to get as much value as I can. So I've kind of got him to agree to chopping all this back as well. See, this used to be a car park here. You can't even park a car here anymore now. And this yard has really got away on me, because I can't mow anymore. See, you know, everything's just... That's that tree. You can see a bit of flower just there actually. There we go, that's the flowers it puts out. And beautiful perfume. Flowers a few times a year. Not sure what kind of tree it is. If anyone knows, leave a comment. But it's not too fast or growing. This has taken a while for this to happen. And see, it's re-suckering on the footpath. If we don't do something about it, the council's gone off about it before, so it'd be better to trim it before they go off at us again. Trim it back and try and hedge it about 4 feet above the fence is what I'd like ideally. He said they'll try. Trim this back, this melaleuca. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, so things are about to get very different. Oh yeah, and that's the road. Yeah, it gets blasting hot there in the summer. That's the west out that way, so the sun just belts in. But all this just gives everything a whole different little microclimate. This house used to be unbearably hot when I first came here 20 years ago. But all these trees have completely changed it. See, there's a fig there. It's quite nice at the moment, but it'll get too big one day. Another macaranga, but I've kind of kept it tame. I regularly trim it back, so they can stay for now. Yeah, and that's the custard apple. As you probably remember if you've seen my other videos. Advanced custard apple I've had for quite a few years. It'd be really nice to get this in the ground, in the same spot as that ice cream bean, I think. Could be a good spot for it. Yeah, so that's the story. Okay, I'll show you more soon. Bye for now. Okay, this is it. It's on. It's all started. It's different already. Oh, mate. Yep, and I'm just going to put some of this kerosene on the trunks of the trees. Put down on that. It's a big ice cream bean tree branch. All the ice cream beans on it there. That's only a small part of it, there's a lot more of it to go. See how much of it's hanging over into the neighbour's yard. There's a lot of tree up above the roof too. It's going to take them a while. Can't really see it in there, but oh, there's a lot of tree. Smaller branches, but you know, still very thick. It's going to keep them busy for a while. So yeah, 3 stories of tree. That's nice, and they're getting all the mulch off the roof too. There's more than a foot thick of mulch up there, and there's actual soil. There's about at least 6 inches of soil up there, and then a foot of mulch on top of that. Because it's been there for so long. Yeah, look at all that stuff. Look at it. There's just tons of it. Because those ice cream beans do make a lot of mulch actually. They have a lot of leaves, and they drop a lot of leaves. And remember I showed you a couple of days ago, there's more than 2 foot deep of mulch around the base of that tree. Getting closer to 3 foot even of mulch. Look at that, just tons of the stuff. It's going to be good actually. I hope they keep a lot of that. I think they'll leave a lot of it, I hope. Because I can use all that. Oh, that's great that they're getting all that. Look, there's just so much of the stuff. I'll tell them they can leave that if they're thinking of taking it. Yeah, I want that, thank you. Yeah, that's really good of them. There's a lot of old dead branches there that have been chopped back by the neighbours. A few months ago they chopped branches back and thrown them back over our side of the yard. Because they're allowed to do that by law. It's our trees, so they've just cut them off, thrown them over our side. And, you know, maybe it wasn't in the contract in a lot of ways, but these guys are getting it for us anyway. And just see, I don't know how it's going to go. They're going to try. I've tried to point it out to them, but it's in their way. But that's, where is it? Pretty hard to see actually. The bunya pine there. Yeah, see, it's in their way every time they walk through. There it is, yep. I asked them to try and save that if they can. I don't know if they can though. They just tried to dig it out actually, and they said there's just huge roots all around it everywhere. They can't even dig it out. There's just so many roots from those bigger trees. But yeah, hope they can save it. Hope they can salvage that. That bunya pine's about 18 years old actually. got planted there about 18 years ago. And it's just never grown because it got shaded out. But once they clear this, if it survives this, I am going to have to get it out before too long because it's just the wrong spot for a big bunya pine. See, and they're making headway into the jungle now. It's quite a jungle, eh? It's quite a job to get in there. And you'll see that big poinciana at the back soon. It's a massive tree. It's a beautiful tree too, but again, it's going to be a contentious issue with neighbours, I think. So I'm hoping they don't mind it being there for now. But it'll be another $2 grand or $2.5 grand to take it out. It's just right on the borderline, right on the fence line. It's huge. And no matter how much you cut it back, it's got such a big main trunk and root system now, it grows really quick. You can virtually trim it back to just one big trunk and give it 7 years and it's in everybody's yards again. Just used a winch to haul out a big heap of crap. It's pretty smart of them. Yeah, will that bunya pine survive? Perhaps not. This is a wood chipper making all the noise. Tech. I bet they're cursing that little bunya tree. It's just in their way the whole time. And they're trying really hard to save it. making the job a lot harder for them. Yep, still there. I bet he'd love to just run a chainsaw through it. Just get it out of the way. Now you can see that big Poinciana at the back. You'll see it even better soon. It's a big tree. That's the Poinciana leaves at the top there. See, that's jungle. I told you my yard's a jungle. much better look at that poinciana. Yeah, wow, so different now. No poisonous ones here, I don't think. Should be safe.
Ryan needs you at the front to ask you something.
Okay, okay. I'll be right out. They chopped more of this than I wanted them to chop, but that's okay. At least it'll be longer before I've got to pay again. I did want them to hedge that. It would have been difficult to hedge it, but anyway, not to worry. Well, that's certainly different. Sure gives me a lot more room for garden anyway. Yeah, I've got a lot of space now. I could put a lot of pot plants in there. Fruit trees, vegetables, and room for more seedlings. But yeah, it looks a lot different, eh? And it's going to get really hot now. That's why I didn't want them to take too much out, because that sun just blasts when it comes through there in summer. Just blasts in. So very exposed now again to the road for the first time in 20 years. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I've got a lot of room there now. That gets good sun too. And I'll probably, I know, I'm thinking maybe I'll put my custard apple in there. One custard apple, one soursop, some papaya, maybe some bananas, some veggies, and lots of room for pot plants. So I'll just give you a look at how to find them on the interweb. Just type in high-tech tree services, Deception Bay, Queensland, and that's where you'll find them. Phone number there, and little bit about them. And this is one of their Facebook pages. I found they've got 2 Facebook pages, but they both got the same links and same number, I think. I better just check that. Well, that's the same number on the website anyway, so just thinking, and it's a slightly different number to there, so, oh, that's a mobile number, okay. I think you'd probably still find them on these numbers. Yeah, they haven't updated their Facebook for quite a while, but it still looks pretty relevant. It's got the same link to their website and the same phone number there. This is their other Facebook page. See, same numbers, same link to their website. Got another link there for marketing. Yeah, they're not very active on Facebook, it seems. And this is their website, hightechtrees.com.au. And yeah, they're one of the best tree cutters in Redcliffe, no less, I think. So, and they'll cover a wide area. They'll even go down to the Gold Coast, I think. They'll work in Brisbane, Gold Coast. They say down here. Yep, servicing Brisbane, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast and the Ranges. There's their email address, trees@hightechtrees.com.au. There's their mobile number and phone number. These are some of the people who they've worked for. They've worked for Moreton Bay Regional Council, and they work for the Brisbane City Council, and a few of the real estate agents. So yeah, they're pros. They know what they're doing. They're very good. And yeah, they first did work for us 20 years ago. So they say here 15 years experience, but that's, again, this website hasn't been updated for a while. These guys have been around for a long time. More than 20 years. It's 2021 now. They've been around for more than 20 years. So there you go. If you want a good job done with your trees, especially if you've got really big trees, big dangerous trees, these guys are insured, and they're really good at what they do. And I don't make any money plugging these guys. They've just done some work for us a number of times over the years, and they always do a very good job. So yeah, just want to make that clear. They're not paying me to say this. I'm just saying it because I'm very happy with their work. Okay, well, this is the after shot after the contractors have cleared. Now it's almost 2 months to the day Now since they cleared, we've had a lot of bad weather, so I've just sort of haven't got around to getting you the after shot and finishing up my video of the contractors clearing. But anyway, this is it. I guess it'll give you, you might find it interesting too, there's a lot of seedlings of the macaranga. I've got thousands of these macaranga seedlings. I would love to be able to sell them. I'm probably being too ambitious though, but they would be really good for any reforestation projects or even any agroforestry projects. You know, agroforestry, where people grow trees and fruit trees in together and chop and drop. These would be perfect for that kind of situation, where you constantly prune the trees back to feed your fruit trees. Yeah, look at them all. Look at them, there's just thousands. I've got carpets of them because the rain's been so good too. We've just had such good regular rain in the 2 months since they chopped the trees down. And there's an example of a macaranga there, like pretty much fully grown. That's about as big as they ever get. They don't get a real lot bigger. Yeah, there's another example of the leaves on them. Got that heart-shaped leaf. See, I'll keep this one macaranga here. It's useful for me. It creates shade here. And I trim it back. I give it a trim every year. And yeah, I like it. It comes in handy. Yeah, so if anyone was interested, I've got thousands and I could mail them anywhere in Australia. I could mail them bare rooted. They're growing in fairly deep mulch there, so they'll pull out of that mulch very easily. I could put them in a little bit of those water crystals and send them anywhere in Australia if people were interested. And very cheap. They'll be 6 months tall soon. I was thinking about $1 each. You'd sell lots of 50 for $50 if anyone was interested. And you could probably put them straight in the ground if you've got water crystals, or perhaps better putting them in small pots for a little while till they settle in. But anyway, that's the front yard, bordering the road. It's very bare now. The house gets a lot hotter, but yeah, it's just been raining so much ever since they cut the trees down anyway. And now, yeah, it's almost 2 months to the day, and it's still autumn, but it's got quite cold. It's almost like we might be heading for a cold winter, I think. It's become quite wintry now. Yeah, and a few of these macarangas are coming back. I forgot to put Caro on that one, so that's coming back, of course. Oh damn, there's a few of these weeds. These weeds are terrible. You just can't beat those things. That's a shame, but there's not many yet, but there will be. You can't beat those things. Once they start, you never stop them. I did try to put Caro on that trunk, but see, they cut it off. It was very vertical, the cut, so I couldn't get enough Caro on it. And I'm going to have to put more Caro on that to get rid of it. I didn't put Caro on this thing. I wish I did now. That ice cream bean, I was too late putting the Caro on that. And after 2 months it's throwing up some suckers. But all I've got to do is just rip those suckers off. Grab it, rip it quite hard, and then spray the wound with Caro, and that should finish it off. yeah, this thing, whatever it is, it's quite a beautiful tree, but I wish I didn't have it now. I would like to get rid of it now. So that's going to get more chopping and Kero. And so yeah, look at all these Macaranga seedlings, hey? They're just everywhere. There's thousands of them. Yeah, and the back fence is finally in. Softwood, unfortunately. I was hoping they'd do hardwood. Yeah, that's that new treated pine. It's not as toxic, well they say it's not as toxic as the old treated pine. They still insist the old treated pine was nothing wrong with it, even though they stopped using it because nobody was buying it. Well, they weren't selling as much because everyone was realising it was toxic for the soil. But anyway, it looks alright, I guess. Just going to have to be a bit cautious with... I did want to plant fruit trees along there, and now I'm not feeling so enthusiastic about it. Yeah, I would like to plant some dragon fruit in here now, I've decided. I think that's the best idea because this is a very bright, hot spot, which would be perfect for a few dragon fruit up near that fence. One line of dragon fruit. And also there's a street light there. So yeah, apparently the lighting at night really helps dragon fruit to flower better. So yeah, it could be perfect. And yeah, in the 2 months I haven't done much because, as you know, my health is not good. This is all I've done so far. Is I want to put this shade cloth up against that edge just to give it a bit more protection. Because in winter, for about a month in winter, it gets this really bad cold, strong winds come up from the southwest. So I want to sort of try and make this fence, give it a bit more protection for the plants I'm going to put in. I've still got a bunch of red papayas that I want to put in there. Well, I've got to put them somewhere, so they go in here. This isn't really the best spot for red papaya in a lot of ways because it will get a bit too cold for that 1 month at the end of winter. But anyway, if I get the protection up. So yeah, this is, remember, it was all just jungle. Now you can see right to the back the poincianas, and look how huge those poincianas are. It's a real pity we couldn't chop those down as well. We just didn't have enough money. They quoted us $3 grand to chop those trees down. There's 2 there actually, poincianas. One there, you can see it's got a huge trunk. It's a monster. And it's been trimmed so many times. Like, it's got a huge root system. And in 5 or 7 years, it's going to cover half the yard again, its canopy. It grows really quick now because it's so big. So yeah, pity we couldn't get that. But we won't have to worry about it for a few years, I guess. And yeah, this is the new fence with the treated timber. So I guess maybe it was better than the asbestos fence. You know, it was better. That asbestos fence was just in terrible condition, and being asbestos. And yeah, this Macaranga has died. This was the biggest one. I got the Kero down on that in time. The trick is to pour the Kero on the cut the moment they cut it, and then you'll get a kill. And if you leave it too late, the tree will resucker. But we've got that. That was the biggest Macaranga. And again, look at all these seedlings, hey? Macaranga seedlings. And there's a few weeds here and there, but not many. And I'm eating nut grass. That's come in from the neighbours somehow. That's sort of like loose dirt from their side of the yard. So I'm going to have to get onto that really soon, try and pick it. But as you know, if you know anything about nutgrass, it's a terrible curse. It's a curse for gardeners. You pretty well never beat it. That's this stuff. You pretty well never beat it. Because it throws down nuts. They find nutgrass nuts in mine shafts 60 feet down. You know, so you never beat it. The nuts just keep throwing up shoots. I might have to look into some poisons. Perhaps there's a poison that'll beat it. I just don't know. But anyway, yeah. I wanted to keep this quick and not rave on too much. Yeah, the bunya pine survived. Amazingly. That needs to come out. Another Macaranga here that's reshooted. Needs more Caro to beat it. Another one there. Oh yeah, this Madeira vine. I've got to really put some time in to pick all that stuff, because that's a real problem. A real problem weed. So I'm going to have to put a lot of hours into that. This is the first time I've walked around here for a month. And everything's really growing with the rain. But I can get here now. If you remember at the beginning of this video, I could only get as far as, well, anyway, there's the bunya pine. Has to be transplanted, otherwise it's going to really take off. But yeah, if you remember at the beginning of this video, this is as far as I could get without having to do some serious climbing. So that's the old ice cream bean. And I've just seen it's reshooting too. I didn't think it was going to reshoot. So I'm going to have to get onto that too. More kerosene to get those shoots, which is certainly better than using glyphosate. Yeah, so I've got a bit of work to do in here, weeding. But yeah, plenty of space to plant my soursops. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And my custard apple, this would be the best spot to plant my custard apple. Just here where the ice cream bean was. And you can see my papayas there a little bit better. Growing in the jungle. Still plenty more jungle in there. I wish I could afford to trim. Wait, that's a red cedar, by the way. A red cedar I planted about 20 years ago. Give it another 20 years, that'll be worth a fortune, that tree. At $5,000 a cubic metre. Yeah, so we can walk on a bit further now. This is as far as I could go last time, but I can keep going this time. Yeah, quite a bit of Madeira vine in here. That's going to be a problem unless I get onto it soon. and a lot of macarangas too. A lot of macaranga seedlings. This macaranga too needs more care, otherwise it'll grow into a tree in no time. This stuff, I don't know what it's called, it's quite nice, but I do want to kill it out. Just clear all this area and plant more trees, more fruit trees. Yeah, so that's it. What was once jungle is now cleared. Quite a good wide strip really. Got space to do a lot of things. My health, if I can, with my health permitting, that's all that's holding me back now is my health. Oh yeah, a lot of Madeira vine in there. Going to need some serious weeding to get it. And that's a better look at that poinciana. Oh yeah, that's a silky oak, that's even bigger. I couldn't even contemplate chopping that out. The cost would be just astronomical. It's 70 feet high, it's two of them actually. Native silky oaks, Grevillea robustas. Yeah, that trunk's the red cedar. Starting to get a bit of size about it. Yeah, another 20 years that'd be worth an absolute fortune, that tree. It's 20 years in the ground there now. I had it as a seedling for about 5 years. It's an advanced seedling before well, it was a nursery tree that just got its roots, one of the ones that survived. And they brought in the water restrictions. Its roots managed to get out of the pot and into the ground and it lived. Whereas most of my other trees died. But yeah, that's the poinciana. It's massive too. Real pity we couldn't chop that out. Just too much money. Too expensive. And that's a staghorn I brought here 20 years ago. That's for sale if anyone wants it. It's pretty big now, it's been there a long time. Yeah, it's been up there 20 years. Kind of hard to see exactly how wide it is, but I think it's more than a metre wide. Yeah, it's going to be easier to get in and get some of this other stuff out now. Like this edge, as long as I get onto it. Just got to get on it and get the weeds. So there it is. More ice cream beans there shooting up. And that's a mulberry actually. There's a couple of other wild mulberries in the yard. Poinciana will cover half the yard in another 5 years. Kind of wish I wasn't around when that happens. It can be somebody else's problem. Yeah, so that's it. The jungle cleared thanks to high-tech tree services. They did a great job too. So we're cleared and ready to plant some better suited trees. Some fruit trees that are better suited for this area. That ice cream bean just became too big. It's just too much of a problem. It's throwing horizontal branches way over into the neighbour's yard all the time. So that was quite annoying for everybody. Okay. Well, that's it. Done and dusted, before and after. So I hope in the future I can show you some nice trees in here. Let's see how things unfold. So thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you next time.